Again the Queen will try to last. Come to the field, Queen Alexandria the Third. Oh, you will not be a turd. And even though this god starts with the language most vulgar, I promise you, we will create a kingdom most mighty. As you can see, there is a ghost of a king. Apparently there was a little land here known as the Land of Snake Water, but soon it had to suffer at the hands of a great slaughter. And when the king, most corrupt and most miser, tried to bribe the monsters, all it led to was a horrible demise. But for now we shall light the fire and we shall hire our men. We will create a kingdom with which we can defend. But with many bows we can fire straight and true and kill all the monsters through and through. But I shall purchase a hammer and I have purchased a bow. With this hammer I can build many great creations which will serve us, and maybe even one day we could establish a guild. But I build 2 walls and now we are defended. We have a wall on our eastern flank and on our western flank. So now we can consider both sides to be in the bank. But now I turn to my brave archers. Please hunt for rabbits. Please return me an investment. But what has Queen Alexandria III known about the Kingdom of Snake Water, a place which had to suffer a most horrible slaughter? Well, she read in the scripture that the kingdom had to suffer a great slaughter, of course. Apparently the king was a miser and a mismanager. It seems it's the fate of all the kingdoms in these lands. So how can the kingdom be better managed? Well, another archer has been purchased. And we find a treasure chest as well. This is a most strong start for this kingdom then. With this treasure chest we can secure an earlier start, and we find to our left a statue without a heart. But perhaps we could develop it, though apparently the miser king was trying to build a boat which perhaps he could try and float. We will have to find out what we can do. Oh yes, we can. We will have to find out what we can do before this entire kingdom comes down with a sickness known as flu. But for now, with my extra coins, I hired 2 more archers to make sure our lands are defended. With good defences, we will be able to survive for much longer. Oh yes, much longer indeed. This will give us the strongest start, and then we can defend with all our hearts. I even feel like expanding our defences further, if I am honest, and an honest god I am. I am a man who is most honest. Oh yes, I am. But I now purchase 2 more bows, and I will purchase 2 more stockades. We will become a kingdom which can build quite a strong blockade against the hated monsters who apparently plague this land. Though, perhaps I will manage to turn them into sand once I fire my arrows most straight and true. But now the first night is about to begin. Let us hope it is something we can survive every night without having to drink excessive amounts of gin. But here we go, the night of 1. The day of 1 is over and we are already off to a very good start. And we will be able to hold this kingdom and have a kingdom that has a strong heart. And what do you ask? I hear you bark. What? Oh my god! Oh hark! The kingdom has no banner, no standard, no emblazon. Oh, this is something I will have to address to, though there are other issues I must to attend to which have been raised by Brother Tengu. But for now, the first night begins. I have plenty of archers to defend my lands. I think we should be able to keep this area nice and tightly within my hands. And even my archers, they continue to reward me with continued wealth and continued prosperity. I have little worry for these lands now. I even expand my kingdoms and we found our flag. We shall call ourselves the Kingdom of Salamandaris, because that is our emblem, and we also seem to have a liking for the colour purple. Perhaps with it we can continue to hurtle towards the tractors to success. But this night has ended, the night is over, but when one night is over, a day begins. So what can we do today, you may ask? Well, first things first, I will claim my coin and my riches from our fair trader friend. And I shall return our investment with an extra coin. Now what should we do, my friends, my dear friends? Well, we should repair these walls. It seems the monsters already know of our presence. It's an occurrence which should disturb us by all rights, but For now, I am happy. I am a most happy king. For we are raising plenty of coin and plenty of cash, and with it we can have a strong kingdom up and running within a flash. So I now choose to hire an extra archer, though it seems that my large hiring policies may leave a shortage of vagrants. Oh, that should be a policy which may provide my kingdom with a positive fragrance. But I shall continue to expand the walls and maybe one day build a great hall. But with greater walls come greater responsibilities. Responsibilities which I have yet to work out, but soon we will. And then I will have to give them a shout. But I will continue to build, I will continue to expand. I also choose to explore the west. Perhaps there we could find a precious gift, like a nice stripy vest, or something which will be truly the best. So I just march past the ruins of a former kingdom which once stood here. Apparently nothing lasts, but perhaps we can break the cycle. A cycle most cruel of all, but if we can break the cycle that is cruel, perhaps one day we will not be eating gruel. But I find it at last, I do. I find the boat which could apparently float. It seems that the monsters have demolished the poor vessel. It really does make one want to cry. But we also find the gift of the gods. This was written in the scriptures that this mighty gift could grant us the secrets of stone. With the secrets of stone unlocked relatively early, perhaps we can withstand the upcoming hurly-burly. It is a plan then, I agree, with my wondrous queen. If we can build the gift of the gods, we will be a kingdom not populated with utter clods. I shall expand the great hall, oh yes I will. I shall create walls on my rear which will allow us to exist without fear of any monsters trying to flank us. So, I construct the new tower, or at least I try to, but I am one coin short unfortunately. But you know what they say. My archers are good hunters, they are keen ones I assure you. Perhaps they have had a day of good hunting, for I do have many of them, with which I can hang up some nice bunting. For this archer gives me no coin, which is something I find quite disappointing. I must deny him tonight a plate of steak made of sirloin. But I choose to hire an extra archer instead, for I am going to rule with the most clear head. I will make sure my defences are strong, for if I could upgrade my towers, I hear of a blueprint of a mystical tower which stands tall but also houses not one archer but 2 archers, and with them I believe we could give monsters something that is a nasty scorcher. But for now the night of 2 passes us by. There are many clouds in the sky. So many clouds that we cannot even see the moon. But is that something which we could use as a boon, or something as a plague? I believe it is something of a plague, because without the knowledge of where the position of our moon, it is not a boon, because we do not know the position of the moon, and therefore we do not know the time. And if we do not know the time, when can one eat a lime? For eating a lime is the best way to avoid catching a disease known as scurvy. And once one catches scurvy, your world is thrown to topsy-turvy. Because you lose your parts of your body, you grow great lumps. It is similar to having a plague, a most horrible plague. Not quite the plague, though, not quite the Black Death. Though catching the Black Death is a business most dire. A most dire business indeed. But for now I expand my defences. Perhaps I should invest in the gift of the gods another day. For now, with strong defences at the core of the camp, I can now sit down and have a nice hamp. What is a hamp, you may ask? Gods now invent words, I say. I create neologisms. I also create shortenizations of words which I deem too long. So I now shorten the word hamper to the word hamp. For now I can create an excuse to make a word which rhymes with camp. But I ride a little bit more east. Perhaps if we ride east we could find more treasure. It would provide me with a great source of pleasure. So I ride east I do. We know of a statue which sits here, covered in moss. It is something of a great loss, to see a work of art be ruined. But perhaps there is more treasure which will provide me with pleasure. But, there is more treasure. This is good, this is good. With these extra coins I could buy many steaks of sirloin, but instead I should invest it wisely. Most wisely, of course. I see even more vagrants. However, they are too far away for me to attend to for now. I shall give them their due on another date. Oh yes, I will. I will give them their due on another date. It is not a decision I have made with a heart of hate. It is just necessary. It is necessary indeed. Or perhaps I could give the coin to the statue. The statue may have a purpose. If the statue lights up, it now looks quite divine. It is divine, though I do not know the purpose, which is not fine. I try to consult the scriptures of past experiences. I do, but unfortunately it looks like none of the people who lived in the past, none of the kingdoms, ever discovered the purpose of the statues. Perhaps we will discover it another day, but for now, I just continue to expand our defences, expand our holdings and hire more archers, which will provide a great amount of a horrible stature. But I have now completed my tasks for the day. I have made enough tasks to last me an entire day, which is a cause for me to say hooray! For we are working efficiently, we are working most efficiently. We are also a rich people. We seem to find plenty of money, with which I could buy luxurious goods such as honey. But I am a queen who is most wise, or at least that is what King Alexandria III thinks of herself. For I am the man who sits on the shelf with many strings, as I am a puppeteer. And with the press of a few little buttons, I can make her do whatever I want. I could even make her eat some roast mutton. But for now we just sit and we watch the moon pass once more on a night most serene and tranquil. It is the things that make you quite thankful. That there are people out there who create works of beauty. Even if I hear the inevitable knocking, the knocking most foul, the monsters, they are at our door, trying to break in and throw themselves all over our nice floor. But at least their performance is quite poor, because I have created many defences, because I invest my wealth most wisely. And now the night of 3 is about to pass. We enter the day of 4. The day of 4 where I could increase my score by creating more investment opportunities in my fair kingdom of Salamandaris. So, I give you a coin, fair trader, now go and do well with it. Otherwise, I will see you in hell. So what could I do with my coins I have today? Perhaps with a few more investments, I could create a stronger tower here, which will increase my local power. Now I have 2 coins left. I do. If my archers were to hunt and hunt quite well, I would have another coin which I can recruit another archer to send more cursed monsters directly to hell. But it might not be something which will happen today. It seems there is a shortage of creatures in these lands. Not something I show malice towards, of course, but it will mean that we could soon see a most dire and horrible problem. So I choose to ride out to the west, for I do know it is the strategy that is the best. There is a gift of the gods and our boats which we shall repair, but for now I must find a nice tasty pear. I enjoy my fruit, I do. Without good fruit, what does one have to live for? Well, many things, of course. Fruit is not an item enjoyed by many, but what I do enjoy, of course, is treasure, as it will always bring me my lovely piece of pleasure. With all these coins, I can now invest in a gift of a god. Oh, yes, I could. And it is something I shall do. If I invest in it now with these monies I have found, it will save me trouble later, because soon the monsters will come, and I will label them as someone who I will dub as a hater. And what do haters do, you ask? Well, I hear they hate. Oh yes, they hate, especially when they make their large assault on the night of 8. But for now I will make sure to return to my base, and now I shall reinvigorate before the day of 8. For I shall make sure to construct better defences. If we could expand further out, it would be a strategy most divine, and something which would make our kingdom look quite fine. So let us become more than a collection of tents. Let us become now a place of great repent. For we shall become a most holy and blessed people in the kingdom of Salamandaris. We will become the warriors of Christ, who will provide us with a most dear prize. Or are we warriors of Christ? Who is Christ? He claims to be a Messiah. Yes, he does. A Messiah of all things. But perhaps there are other things which makes people's mind go ding. There are people who call themselves Buddhists, who worship a man named Buddha. And there are people who worship the religion of Islam, who worship a man named Muhammad. Oh, do all these religions get along? I do not know. For they have existed for a time most long. Most long. Most long. Most long indeed. Time is eternal. It really is. There are things in this world which are ageless, but at the same time nothing lasts forever. None of these kingdoms have lasted forever. Many find themselves buried and buried and buried upon the bodies of the previous, in the most cruel cycle which passes. Oh, tonight is a calm one. I hear no knocking, which is quite good, if something a little bit shocking. For we have seen an attack every night. Every night we have had to put up a fight. But I guess tonight they choose not to give us a fright. I approve of this for tonight, for it allows me to feel quite safe, though I read the celestial charts left by my predecessors, and they tell that the night of 5 is the true test of any kingdom, for many monsters will emerge and they will all want to attack, so I will make sure I am ready to fight back. But for now I should use my money most wisely. With more expansion I will become more viable. Or I can also hire a new type of person, a farmer, but I do not expand far enough out in one direction. For I could now begin to construct walls of stone, which is something I think I will consider, for constructing walls of stone will be the best strategy. It will. And with a good strategy we will last much longer indeed. Oh yes, we will. And before I forget, fair trader, have your coin. Bring me back some steak of sirloin as well. And also bring me back a thesaurus, a book most divine, which will not only make myself look fine, but will also enable me to extend my vocabulary, so I can find more words which rhyme. But today, on the day of 5, it is a gloomy one, a most gloomy one indeed. Everything is dark, everything is dreary. It makes one feel quite weary. Oh well, the night of 5 is soon upon us. Soon we will hear that most foreboding tune, which can turn any sane man into a complete and utter loon. For once we hear it, we know what is coming. A monster, many monsters indeed. And they all have a heart of darkness, a heart most dark. For all they want to do is remove all the colour and make everything look bleak and stark. They will also want to commit great slaughter, like the one that happened in the kingdom of Snake Water. I will assure that will not happen, no, not on my watch. We are the kingdom of Salamandis. We will live much longer indeed, with me as a queen, on me as a puppeteer. We will make sure that no man in this kingdom will ever shed a tear of their own. Otherwise I will have to throw them a bone and discover what makes them quite happy. Though I see now a glow in the distance. The sun, it must be setting. It has been a rather short day, I must confess. Though that means I will also have to profess. I do not hear the music yet, the music of most evil. Perhaps there will not be a moon of evil? It is coming. The celestial calendars are right as ever. This red moon rises most quiet though, which is something disturbing. It rises most quiet, it rises with stealth. Perhaps this time it wishes us quite fine health. For red is the colour of wine, a wine most delicious, and most rude, and most crude. Though I suspect I am wrong. The monsters, they attack on the flank of the west. Though it was a strategy which did not prove to be the best. They have fallen most quickly. This red moon passes with little occasion. Though it does mean I can fly my emblazon and make it feel strong. I will make it feel strong. Strong and proud the kingdom of Salamandis stands. It has passed its first test and now it is ready to face the best. We already have walls of stone, so we are a kingdom who is ready to grow. And grow we shall on the day of 6. Though that is something you will have to see tomorrow when you are riding along the river Styx. What, do I make a stark prediction? Do I? I do not predict your death, dear viewer. I do not, I do indeed. I wish you good health, and I wish you plenty of wealth. And for now, I wish you goodbye. Goodbye, dear friends and enemies. Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. For I do believe enemies should always be kept at arm's length. Be smart, my friends. Be smart indeed.